no one wants to work in the winter. You got to give these guys a kick to get them out of the house, right? So they didn't come in yesterday. They were supposed to be here yesterday too, but you know, they were whining and complaining about the snow. It's just a disaster. It's just a lot of cleaning up to do before the work begins in the city, and there's enough inventory on the market. Well, yes, there is enough inventory, but it's not the right type of inventory because of keeping that one block wall saved, you know, $60,000, $70,000 in shoring costs. This is not gonna microwave your poop. Yeah, it was a nightmare, man, but we got it done. So here, guys, what we've done is we've also added an extension in the back. We've added about 25, 30 feet in the back of the home. You'll see it from here. It's a brand new structure, so it's a new foundation and footings were laid for this. You guys saw that in the previous video. And it's a very nice top up now, 1-story top up here. So yeah, let's go inside. So we're outside the property here right now. We've demolished the front canopy that was here. It's been demolished. This bay window is also going to be demolished as well. It's not going to stay the way it is as per our plans. And you'll see like the path is very nice, it's very clean in a sense where, you know, everything is being shoveled. A clear path has been made, so there's a safe access to go in and out of the site in case of an emergency. So now we're in the home. This property is an existing property. It's not a new build, so we already have a gas connection inside this property. So what that does is by having gas in the home, we're mitigating the use of propane tanks. So what we're using is we're just using gas heaters, Schwenk gas heaters, 2 of them, 3 of them, to connect directly to the gas line and use Enbridge gas basically to power the heating. And that's how heating is done during the winter. So usually what we would do is we would close up the front door, we'd close up all the windows. If the windows were demolished, the windows would have been boarded up or sealed through Tyvek. But for now, we're leaving these windows intact for the time being because it's freezing outside, and we're going to remove these at the end. These are going to be removed. There are going to be new windows coming in as part of our plan for this property, but we're just leaving them intact to just kind of keep the warmth in the home. Now, as you walk to the back, you'll notice this section here is the addition. This is all new, guys. We're standing in a brand new structure that we created with the new footings, the new foundations that you guys have seen in the previous videos. And this is all new steel gauge construction. Everything is new, all the joists are new, LVLs, everything is to code, everything is engineered by the structure engineer. This is going to be basement, main floor, second floor, and third floor. We're technically building this whole thing up, basically. That's what we're doing over here. And in the main structure, it was already always a 2-story building, so we're just adding one more story on top, so it becomes, you know, a 3-story building, basically. Every single unit's going to have its own separate entrance. It's going to be individually metered for the hydro. It's going to be individually metered for the gas. And you guys remember in the summertime we had a guy poking his head out of there. This is the same property here. So you can see we kind of knocked out all those bricks over there. That's where the joining point is going to be. We're going to go up there in a moment, but that's what's happening over here. So that second floor is going to join up with the existing structure over there as well. The same way we're joining the basement, the main floor, the second story is going to join up there as well. And you can see we've already started the third story, the final story. So this structure, the new structure, is going to join up with that third story. All this has been shoveled. We've added the de-icer as well. The de-icer is safe for the wood, it's fine. It's all here just to kind of make sure there's no ice buildup here when workers are working. We got to make sure, absolutely got to make sure that it's a safe condition. We can't have guys falling and slipping here. This is a very critical stage of the construction, and this is where accidents happen. If you're not going to be careful, if you're not going to be taking care of the site, maintaining the site during the winter, then you're going to have accidents. And that's why plexcon construction, we make sure that every single site is really well maintained. We have a separate team of general laborers that go on site that ensure that, you know, everything is shoveled, everything is de-iced, everything is safe and okay to work. So like I said earlier, that was a 2-story building. As you guys can see, there's bricks on the side, the left and the right, there's bricks. That's existing bricks, existing wood. We've just added a 1-story addition to this existing structure, and we've added this addition that we're standing on right now, and this addition is essentially then going to be built up to match the 3rd story, is what's going to happen. Guys, did you know that you can actually use natural gas with these construction heaters? Definitely you can. So this home is an addition home, and it's a prime example where you can use the natural gas heater. This home didn't have to disconnect the gas because it wasn't a brand new build. With brand new builds, you need propane. But here we tapped into the existing gas services that was coming in. Your main cost in the winter for the winter construction is usually, as you guys can see, the shoveling of the snow, preparing the sites, upkeeping the site, as well as propane. That's a very big aspect of your cost, the propane. So if you can mitigate the propane by having the natural gas, the way we have over here, the client saves a lot of money. So guys, you'll notice obviously here, another question that a lot of clients have asked us in the past is, okay, well look, you're demolishing this old home, you're gutting this old home, you've got all this old wood that's God knows 50 years old, 100 years old, right? So people ask us the question, well, can this wood actually handle the load of adding another structure on top? We're adding another story on top, right? That's a lot of weight we're adding here. People are gonna be living there, there's a lot of lumber, right? So yes, everything here that you see behind the walls, it was engineered during the stage of getting permits, and after, once we ripped out all the walls, the engineer comes on site and gives us guidelines on how we can re-engineer, reinforce to make this structure a superstructure in a way where it's strong enough to carry the load for the third floor. See here some of the broken pieces of wood, some of the gaps over there. You can see clearly over there, that's kind of busted over there. That's all going to be replaced, reinforced, re-engineered, inspected by the engineer to confirm that the carpenters have complied with OBC and it's strong enough, and the engineer is going to sign off on this. So a lot of guys are posing questions about, oh, this is done incorrectly, or they might say that that's done incorrectly. We've had people, question us, but we've kind of gone back and told them, look, we've had 2 or 3 different engineers that come on site to inspect the work. The city inspectors come to inspect the work. So this is all done by compliance of the interior building code. It's very easy for a client that's running on a very tight budget to think, be skeptical of any extra charges that are coming in, right? And that's why professionals are needed. Third-party professionals are needed. It could be a situation, not like an electrical situation, it could be a structural situation where we've had in the past where the structural reinforcement is not there. When we get these drawings, these blueprints that show the structural details and show everything, if it's a renovation job and if it's not a new build, that's where the challenges come into play, where the engineer may not have seen everything behind all the drywall to see what's happening, what the full scope of the challenges are. So once we gut the home, the engineer comes in again to do another site visit, and then they can advise us of any potential additional extras that we might have to reinforce in the build. Now with plexcon construction, because of our experience, because we've been doing this for so long, we always build in a contingency into our quotations to our clients. So it always has a small contingency for any additional reinforcements that might be needed in a specific project. So then when the engineer goes in and kind of points out a couple of things that we have to re-engineer, reinforce, we don't go back to the client and hit them up with an extra charge. It's already part of our budget. It's all part of our knowledge of us knowing that these things are going to come up. And that's why it's very critical to choose a contractor that has experience in building these kind of multiplex projects, because if you go with someone that's going to give you a bottom line price with no contingency, no space, no breathing room to kind of budget any additional changes that might come into play, then that's going to take you over the budget because you have no room to kind of play there. You're literally, that builder is strapped. There's a handful of condos, thousands of condos that are coming to the market and thousands that are already on the market that are not getting leased out because they're small, they're confined. And nowadays, the typical tenant nowadays, if they've got a family, they want to live in something more spacious, more like a neighborhood. And that's where that void is filled by creating these multiplex conversion projects in the city. That's why there's a need for these projects. Now again, this is our clients, they're the ones that are buying it, we're just building it for them, but this is to answer some of the questions that we've been posed by certain individuals about the fact that there's no shortages in the city and there's enough inventory on the market. Well, yes, there is enough inventory, but it's not the right type of inventory, right? So we're creating the right type of inventory that people want. There's a demand for it, there's a real need for it, and these things are getting leased out like hotcakes. Okay guys, we're here now at this project here on Etobicoke. We've just completed the foundation walls, as you guys can see. It's got a main structure with 4 units, and it's got the garden suite as well in the back. You'll see these cutouts over here. We've purposely created these cutouts for the windows to go in to let more natural light in here. So this is gonna make the space feel a lot more open, a lot more airy in a sense, right? With a lot more natural light shining into this premises over here. You'll see we've also set up the temporary heaters there as well. Now over here, we're using propane to provide heating for the foundations. We've got 3 heaters over here. We've got a bunch of tanks that are over there that are stationed over there. We've built that tank station that's gonna house all the tanks to kind of make sure that everything stays stable. You can't have tanks just sitting there in the middle of nowhere, right? So you've got to kind of put them in a certain location to make sure that everything is safe. We've installed all the waterproofing here, as you guys can see on the foundations. This is a good way for you guys to kind of observe what happens here. So we've installed the waterproofing. Behind this dimple board, the black stuff you see over here is a dimple board. We've also installed a rigid insulation. That's part of the design for this build. It's not very typical of the builds that we do at Plexcon. Majority of the architects and designers don't design it this way. They generally just go with the foundation walls, then you spray the tar, and then you just put the dimple board for the waterproofing. We don't generally come across this. This is usually used in a lot of commercial applications to do the rigid insulation and then do this, but here we've done it all. Now you'll see that these pipes that are sticking out of here, these are the weepers. So, you know, obviously these are all windows, they're gonna have window wells, and this is the weepers that are coming out of here. There's a system of weepers that is running all around the foundations basically over here, which we're gonna step in there in a minute, and I'll show you guys what happens over here. And that what happens is all the rainwater, all the water around the property is collected from around the entire foundation base, and it goes into a sump pump. It's going to be then fed into a sump pump, and that's going to eject the water from there. At the back of the property, you'll notice that we've got a garden suite here. So we've just finished the foundations here as well. Kind of walk down here a little bit. But there's no basement going in here, so this is all going to be backfilled. We've added a layer of pure insulated tarp all around the premises to kind of protect the footings and protect frost from hitting the footings, to go underneath the footings. That's very critical. It's very important to make sure that you guys don't get frost in the footings and keep everything. So guys, now we're here in the trench. Typically, you know, you don't really even have this much room. We've got a lot of room. Luckily, we had a lot of space between this property and the neighbor's property, so we're able to get a lot of room here to kind of work and do what we have to do over here. So what's going to happen here now is that the weeper, the system here, it's already been ran. It's already been ran across the full perimeter of the foundation base. Inspectors already inspected it. That's why we added the gravel. So you've got to get an inspection for this, inspection for the waterproofing. Once that passes, you put up the gravel. The inspector then may choose to come back or just ask for photos to ensure that you've added the gravel all around. So here the gravel is already done. This step is already done. And now the next step is we're just going to basically backfill. So we're going to bring in the Bobcat and we're going to start backfilling this space here. So all this is going to be backfilled with dirt. Hey, did you guys know that this one step in design stage while consulting Plexcon Construction early on saved the client $60,000 to $70,000 insuring costs? This is the old block wall for the old structure that was here. There was an old bungalow here, and we decided to keep this wall intact. So because we kept this wall intact, and now it's obviously due to the corrosion, due to the rain and whatnot, it's been coming off, so we've put all the blocks over here. But when we were digging here, the design was so that it was set back, so that this wall was staying here, and that avoided doing shoring. Basically, the engineers came on site, they said everything is fine, you don't have to do shoring as a result of us keeping this wall here. Because of keeping that one block wall, saved $60,000, $70,000 in shoring costs. So those are things, that's why we always ask our clients to engage Plexcon Construction early on during the design stage, where we can help you in solving these kind of issues that might arise later on. And if you engage us at the end, once you've got the permits, well, sometimes it's just too late. You can't make the changes. So here we were able to make the changes to adjust the home accordingly to save the cost of $60,000 to $70,000 insuring that was avoided in this project. We've got this porta potty here over again too, right? So we've been asked the question of, if you're pooping in there in the wintertime, is it going to be all steaming? All the poop is going to be, steaming up there? Are we going to be boiling your poop inside here? But you're not boiling the poop in there. What this is just to provide a little bit of heat so that the water doesn't freeze. There's a little tank there as well. So we've added a tank with a little bit of water so that you plug this in once we get our temporary power, and it keeps things to a point where they don't freeze. That's all. This is not going to microwave your poop. This property line is right over here. So the city is not going to be bringing in connections all the way to the home. That's also another question that people ask us. So it stops right here. That's a water service and that's a sewer clean out. It's all here. And now our contractor is going to come in and connect from here and bring all the services inside to the structure. And what they're going to do on this side is they're going to run their pipes to run to the back to the garden suite. And on this side, they're going to run directly from here into the basement. The sun is coming out. Let's go check out this other project that we've been working on for some time. This is a 4+1. We just completed a little bit of exterior siding here on the side, on the outside. As per the client's request, we just added this. Challenges, as you guys can see, it's kind of up. Look at all this snow here, right? Like we have to kind of dig ourselves out of here past this storm, so we have to make a pathway for us to walk in. We're gonna have to shovel this, more snow coming in. We have to shovel this whole section. This whole basement walkout was kind of filled with snow. It was a disaster, but it's all taken care of by our teams. Over here right now, what we're doing here is you guys are here previously. The blue skin is done. The framing was done last time you guys saw this. The windows are just completed. And we're working on inside The drywall guys are doing the sanding. Drywall is completed. Nice siding on the side. We're using metal siding here. It's non-combustible. There's a lot of challenges working here. A lot of challenges. It was very difficult to kind of work up here and do the framing. We're working very close to this pole. This pole is supplying all the wiring for all the Bell, the Rogers. So it's very difficult. It's a very tight space. Bringing in the materials here, bringing in the concrete here, all the workers, like it was a big challenge. Yeah, it was a nightmare, man, but we got it done. Okay, here we go. Go inside here. Hey, how are you? Good. Good, man. Amazing, brother. So this guy's sanding over here. Drywall is completed. Basically, we're gonna start the flooring, the tiles, all the finishing. The primer guys are gonna come in. We're gonna start priming the walls. We're using a use of cement board and this glass rock sheeting. It's also for waterproofing purposes. We were using it on the ceiling as well. So this is not gonna catch mold like the typical drywall will. So all the shower enclosures are always with the cement board, glass rock. It's really coming along. A lot of challenges to get it here, but it's really coming along. All this drywall, hand bonding it in here, you can't just crane it in. Like a typical site where you have more room, you just get a crane and you bring all the drywall through the windows, but here it was very tight. As you guys can see, there's no space. In the front, it's tight. You can't bring it from there, so we had to bring in a truck on the College Street on the main road and then hand bomb it from there, bringing it inside. Just getting the spray from truck in here too, because as you know, in the front over there, you can't park cars there. In the back, you can't park cars here. So we had to kind of park on the road, on the main road, and then bring in extra long hose to bring in the hose inside the property to do the spray foam. It was definitely way more challenging than a typical project. Yeah, so you see there's another guy here, his name is, and he's not here yet. He was supposed to be working on finishing the outside, but see, this is the challenge that you have in the winter. No one wants to work in the winter. You got to give these guys a kick to get them out of the house, right? So yeah, I'm gonna have to call him now to see where he's at, because he has a lot of work to do. He's got to finish up here. He's got to finish the backside. You can't be sitting at home. Another question that we get posed at Plexcon Construction is, hey, do you guys only work in downtown core? Do you guys only work in Midtown? Do you guys work in Markham? Do you guys work in Hamilton or somewhere on the outskirts? And to answer that question, yes, Plexcon works along the greater Golden Horseshoe. We work across the GTA. We've got projects that we've completed in Niagara Falls. We've got projects we've completed in Kingston, Ontario. We've got projects we've completed in Hamilton. There's some more projects that we're about to start in Hamilton. So we've got the whole area covered basically. We've done projects in Markham as well. So yes, please feel free to reach out to Plexcon Construction. Message us, hit us up. We got you covered. All right, guys, we're back at one of our new builds. This is brand new, meaning we've got brand new foundations, brand new excavation, totally new building. Let's go inside and have a peek to see the progress. At least the guys are here today, and I don't have to call their boss at them because it was snowing, and they didn't come in yesterday. They were supposed to be here yesterday too, but they were whining and complaining about the snow. How do we get in? What's the best way to get in here? From here? From the back? Okay. All right. Challenges he's facing. The poor guy, he has to shovel the snow, clean it all out before he starts working. You lose a day just for shoveling the snow. Whenever you get a snowfall, you got to clean it up. They were playing with a lot of constraints in this property. That's why the ceiling height is not the highest here. It's only an 8 feet ceiling height here. Compared to your typical new build, we go with the 9 feet, 9.5 feet, sometimes 10 feet. Here, to get the 3-story height, they have to go with the 8 feet ceiling based on the design. So you've got the back here. They've got a permit to build the garden suite as well, but the client has opted not to do the garden suite. They're just going to go with a typical 4 unit, not the 4+1. But there's a lot of room. It's a very deep property. You can put a garden suite here easily. It's something that in the future they might decide to do. So look at the challenges. I mean, we have to dump the de-icer here. It's just it's a challenge, right? When you have this space that's all open above, right? Like snow comes in, it's just a disaster. It's just a lot of cleaning up to do before the work begins. A lot of extra cost as well, but we budget for that, so kind of minimized it. A lot of delays happen because of this, because see, this project is now, I would say, because of the holidays, Christmas, we lost 2 weeks. Then you've got the winter storms coming in. We've lost a good month at this project here because of the delays. If we didn't have Christmas to deal with, we didn't have the winter to deal with, the framing would have been completed in this project a long time ago. You got to be safe. You can't go up there if it's not safe. Sometimes you're gonna shovel the snow, then you're gonna put the de-icer there, and then you're gonna basically then just wait, let it melt before you even start working. So you might lose a day or two just there. By the end of next week, when we come back to film next week, the 3rd floor will be done, and we'll be on the roof by the end of next week. That's our plan. So end of next week roof. Construction of this project is a lot more challenging because of the heavy gauge steel studs. It makes it a lot harder, makes it a lot slower compared to doing it with just wood structure. And then you've also got to order these as a custom order to size. That also takes a couple of days to get in. And also the way that this is being built, also for the fire separation purposes, the way they've designed it also is a little bit different than what we typically do, where you know, the joists are resting directly on this LVL, and just to kind of, we're creating a fire separation here in a special way. You see over here, they've got this little room here. They use this room that they've built just to kind of come in, just to warm up. You know, they're using the power, it's using electrical heater, and they charge their tools and they kind of warm up in there. That's what they're doing. It's a warm up room. It's not a sauna, guys, it's just a warm up room.